guys, this is ASM Hearth again. I'm going to be continuing the arena run with the third game. If you haven't seen the previous couple videos for the second arena run, we drafted a priest deck. We selected priest over druid and rogue. And I think the draft went pretty well. We're lucky to be able to get a legendary. Troxor is not the best legendary to get, obviously, but he's far from the worst. I think he's slightly upper tier, I think. Especially in priest. I think he's a little better in priest than other classes. And we actually got a little bit of synergy, kind of unexpectedly, with a couple of abusive sergeants and Big Game Hunter and Shadow or Death. We were able to pull off the abusive sergeant Big Game Hunter combo pretty effectively against that. One of the first couple games we played a rogue with 5 attack minion, and be able to kill him off with that combo. I think the only thing we're lacking in this deck is any form of silence. We don't have an Ironbeak Owl or a Spellbreaker. I think we passed up drafting a 0-mana silence spell, but I would probably do the same thing again. I don't think it's imperative that you have silence, especially if you're going to be drafting that card. Not a big fan of it, so I think we should do alright. We have the Shadow Word cards that kind of sort of fill the same role as silence. Just going to go straight into it. My original projection for this deck was about 6 or 7 cards. 6 or 7 wins. So we'll see how accurate that prediction was. I think that was my same prediction for the mage deck we had in the first run, and we ended up getting 12. So predictions aren't always correct. So hopefully we're wrong about that, but wrong in that we underestimated it. So we're playing against a priest here, a priest mirror. Pretty decent initial draw here. I don't think I'll keep the Holy Nova, but I may want to keep the Abusive Sergeant here, just because it works well with Argent Squire. Like if I drop Argent Squire turn 1, and he drops like a 2-3 or a 3-2, it'd be really helpful to have the option to drop the Sergeant, buff it up, and trade and keep the 1-1. I think that's the best option here. And if he doesn't drop something on turn 1 or turn 2, then I can just play the Novice Engineer. So we've got a lot of options here. Yeah, our early games can be pretty solid here. We have lots of ways of dealing with things. He passed on his first turn, so we're just gonna get the Argent Squire out there. And we're gonna end turn. Need to be careful to make sure I look at all of the options available early on here. Sometimes I'll look back at these games and some of the videos and see sometimes I made some not ideal plays and be like, yeah, what were you thinking there? But so sometimes I sort of rush through things and kind of try not to do that. So here the play seems pretty obvious. As I figured might happen, he dropped a minion on turn 2, and it has 3 health, so I think we just Abusive Sergeant here. Buff up the Argent Squire, trade, and there's no need to pull out the Novice Engineer. It'd leave us with a pretty crappy turn 3 if we did that. So hopefully we draw like a 4 mana cost minion or a 3 mana cost here to be able to play it. Shade of Noxeramus. Okay, that's a pretty good draw for him. I think the play here is to coin out the Light Spawn. It won't leave us with a great turn 4 because we don't have a 4 mana cost here, but what we can likely do is Shadow Word Pain something. Trade a Light Spawn into something maybe, and then heal it up. So I think we just coin out the Light Spawn and hit face. We have a lot of options next turn actually on turn 4, so it won't be that bad of a turn. Probably might try to hold on to that, although you never know. Okay, that is very nice. That's an easy kill. The question is, do we want to Shadow Word Pain that? Because that's a lot of value there. I think being able to Shadow Word Pain a 4-drop is a lot of good tempo. And we can put out the Novice Engineer, draw a card. And then we have like a lot of late game after that, so I think we definitely want to Shadow Word Pain that. It'll put him really far behind. Put out the Engineer. I guess we could have put out the Engineer first and see what we get from the draw, but in that I'm not mattering, it's too high of a cost minion to be able to affect the board on this turn. So far so good. I guess the worst thing that could happen here is he Holy Novas and trades with the Light Spawn. Okay, Dark Cultist, that's interesting. So if we kill the Cultist, it's gonna buff the Shade. But I'm still not super worried about that. As long as he doesn't have the double the health and Inner Fire combo, then we'll be alright. But we can't really play around that combo to begin with, so I think I just play the Drake and proceed from there. Okay, that could be useful if he ends up attacking with the Naxxramas. So here the question is whether we want to trade these 3 minions here into the Cultist or not, or whether we want to trade the Light Spawn into it. I think the best play could be trading the Light Spawn into it. If he had a Holy Nova, I feel like he would have played it that turn. If he draws a hole, it would have been the most ideal play. So I feel like we can go face here and keep as many minions on the board as possible and start threatening with lethal. I could end up regretting that decision, but I still feel like if he, I think if he had Holy Nova, he definitely would have played it last turn. If he's not trading first, he probably doesn't have Holy Nova. Although I'm not sure what he would trade into anyway, so maybe that's not true. Okay. He goes for a trade. Lightwell. Alright, that's fine. So that Lightwell can be killed by the Kodo. It's just a matter of whether we want to play the Kodo or the Boulder Fist. If we think the Boulder Fist gives us a better push for lethal, then we might go for that. But at the same time, if we destroy that Lightwell, we could be sort of preventing him healing it. Like if we destroy the Lightwell won't be able to... I guess what I'm trying to say is this Boulder Fist threatens 6 attack. This one only has 3 attack, but you make up the difference for that because the Lightwell is healing its face for 3 if we don't take it out. If we decide to take out the Lightwell, that soaks up 5 health, so overall it's just more efficient to take out the Lightwell with this Kodo. Now that I'm looking back at it, an option could have been to trade out to kill the Cultist with the 2/1/1s first, and hope that it buffs the Lightwell and then take out the Lightwell, but I think we can just sort of go face here. He's got a lot of pressure. Let's see, if we go face, that'll leave him with 3 health. You know, I'm gonna take out the Cultist. He's only got 1 minion on the board. I think we're pretty, that's a little safer. So I guess that could be considered a slight misplay, but I don't think it'll end up hurting us. It just means this Shade has 3 more health, and there would have been a 50% chance of not passing that on to him, but I still think he might have lost this game. Okay, he does have a Shadow Word Pain. Alright. So we're definitely going to want to death the Shade here. Let's plan out our turn. I think it's just death the Shade, trade the Drake, play the Strider, Vital Strider. Yeah. If this was like a mage or something, I might consider hitting face here. But because the priest can heal off damage, 2% because he doesn't have a lot of ways to deal 1 damage. This Drake is a lot more durable at 1 health than it would be against a mage or something like that. Okay, he's gonna heal. Alright, this game is getting dragged out a little longer than I would have liked. I think here it's just best to play the Ogre and the River Croc. Just give him too much to handle. I don't think I want to trade, I think I just want to hit face here. It's a pretty unfavorable trade and puts more pressure on him, forces him to heal. Thought Steal, what could he have possibly taken that I would not like? I can't really think of anything. Oh, Holy Nova. Maybe he stole that. I don't think it'll be enough. I mean, that was a pretty crappy Holy Nova, so. Yeah, that's the game. So we, take game 3 before turn 10. That was a pretty quick one. I guess, that wasn't too difficult there, but we did have a fantastic start with getting Argent Squire and Abusive Sergeant and Ops Engineer in there at first. So we're gonna move on to game 4 here. And been pretty lucky with our games so far on this account. I mean, honestly, it could not have gone any better in our first 15 games. We haven't really lost. We've had a disconnect in a game that wasn't going super favorably, so I guess we can go ahead and count that as a sort of a loss. So maybe we shouldn't say 15 games, because 3 of them are not currently uploaded. They're still on that old laptop, which we actually had a little bit of success in trying to get back some of the files in that laptop, so I might actually be able to upload the last 3 games on that 12-win run. We'll see. So don't be surprised if in the next week or so I end up uploading that. So here for the initial mulligan, Boulder Fist is way too big to keep, and Shadow Word Death is only 3 mana, but you're never going to see a minion of 5 attack or more in the first 3 turns. The only one you would possibly see that on is against Druid, which is what we're playing, but I'm not gonna bet on them innervating out like, you know, a Stranglethorn Tiger or something like that. I think we can't bet on that. Okay, so pretty good draw actually. I don't mind Venture Co. that much. Shadowward Pain is always good to have. So this early draw is not too bad. Not bad at all. We're gonna have a weak turn too, I think, unless he puts down a minion here. Oh, he is going for the Innervate. Okay. Well, yeah, this is just gonna be a weak turn. I think I have to heal his face and threaten. If I don't want to misplay, so we're just gonna hit face and end turn. Next turn could be sort of weak too. I'm hoping he buffs this attack or something. I can BGH it. So he's getting a lot of extra mana these first few turns. Luckily I can Shadow Word Pain that. His coin is sort of wasted. He's gotten a lot of mana acceleration with an Innervate and a coin, but we've dealt with it pretty well, so it's hard to complain. Another Spider Tank. Wow, this guy's draft is pretty darn good. Both Spider Tank and Ogre Brute are very good 3-drops. I really don't want to have to put out the big game hunter this early, but I might have to. Well, good thing is I have a Shadow Word Death in hand to deal with his Ironbark Protectors and things like that. So I think I can put out the big game hunter. I think I have to. I think I just will get out-tempoed if I don't drop it here. He can't hero power next turn definitely has to be a Venture Co mercenary. Oh, he buffed the minions, that's interesting. Alright, well this is the 5/3 is within Shadow or Death range, but that would not be super good value, so I think he's gonna, as this game goes on, he's gonna be dropping some big minions, I think, as a druid. I think I've just gotta drop Venture Co and hope he doesn't have a way to deal with it. Or I guess I'm sort of hoping he trades some minions into it, actually. Oh, that's not good. We might lose this game. Well, that was a little bit beneficial. So, we're gonna want to trade the Venture Co out and not have to deal with that card text. Take out this loaded Belger. I think we just play the Boulder Fist here. The other option is Dragonlink Mechanic and Heal. And that sort of deals with his board a little bit, but he could Hero Power. Yeah. I'm trying to think. He could Hero Power the 2/1, we'd be left with a 2/4. Trade the 2/4 into the 1/2 that hits face, and they would be able to hit face again. I think I'm gonna play Boulder Fist. Right, let's see. If I play Boulder Fist, I still have to fight through that taunt, and then it hits twice for face. Hits face twice, and then it's hard to say what the right option is here. I might need to draw Holy Nova to win, and if I draw Holy Nova, then the better play would have been putting down Boulder Fist. I'm gonna put down Boulder Fist. It would be nice to draw that second Shadow Word Pain. Oh man, he's just got a lot of good cards here. These vanilla, like 4 mana 4/5s, 3 mana 3/4s are very powerful in Arena. We're gonna need a Holy Nova here. Didn't get it. I think I just got a Drake and hope to top deck a Shadow Word Pain. And if I don't, I'll just heal. Okay. Take out the slime, heal face. He might swipe face and then hit twice and we'd be dead, but yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen. There's no way we can really prevent it though. I mean, I don't think there's much we could have done differently. Just had a lot of good cards. Okay, he's 1 off lethal here. Is he gonna like Moonfire my face or something? Not quite. Well, Holy Nova's pretty good here. I don't know if he was BMing early or something, but looks like we're gonna be able to do some damage here and heal up. So we can't really trade and then heal up health first. So I think we just Holy Nova and heal face. We can take this out. Yeah. Gotta heal face. If he has swipe, he still wins. He might have swipe, but I feel like he would have played it last turn. So I don't know what the Ironbark Protector. You know, he's gonna be kind of mad because we're gonna just death that. And I have to heal face. I can't not do that. And I think I want to also get out the Dragonlink Mechanic. Let's see what's the best card to get out here. I don't think we have any more spell damage, so adding spell damage isn't going to be huge. I guess Drake is the best. It would have been. I guess we could have given it an extra health to play it first. We played a little quickly with the Shadow or Death, but you still have to. I can't just not play it just because I'm mad about not getting extra health. So I think I just have to put that down. It'll be a 4/5. That's all right. We're threatening lethal here if he can't remove anything, and I don't think he can. If he had damaging cards like Wrath, or I mean like a Swipe or Starfire, he would have hit face with it and killed me. So I think we might pull off an improbable win here. We're actually one off lethal because he's hero powered, so. Okay. Well, we're definitely healing phase. What's the best way to trade this out? We're probably going to want a Shadow Word Pain as well. I think we gotta get Temple Enforcer down too, so I think the play is to heal Shadow Word Pain and Temple Enforcer. So I'll Shadow Word Pain this. I don't want to Temple Enforcer the Drake, because if he gets silenced, it's already a silenced target because it'll go to 1, so I think we just... And when I say Drake, I'm at the Twilight, so I think we give the health to the Hazard Drake. Heal up, and I'm gonna trade out this. Yeah, it's already a silenced target. Unless he draws like Force of Nature Savage. He can't have Force of Nature Savage Roar because he would have used it already. So I think we're pretty safe here. I think we're gonna have a great comeback win here. I thought for sure we were dead. I mean, he was 1 off lethal. That's gotta hurt. So, he might have, I don't know why he was saying well played before when, I guess he might have thought that he had lethal and miscounted and was off 1. But yeah, we're 4-0. Had a lot of close games here and haven't quite lost. Every time I think I'm about to finally lose a game, seem to pull up the right card. Drawing that Holy Nova was incredible, especially since he left. He kind of, maybe he shouldn't have left the Azure Drake down because that's what allowed me to win. So you can always play the would, shoulda, coulda game though. Hindsight is 20/20. We're gonna go right into our 3rd game here. Those first couple games were kind of quick, each lasting less than 10 minutes on average. So we're going to be able to play a 3rd game here without messing up the rendering time. The rendering process on these videos, once it gets past like 30 minutes to 40 minutes, just gets really complicated. It fails a lot of the time if it goes much longer than that. So we're going to try to keep these videos a lot shorter than they have been in the past. I think we had like an hour long or like 50-something minute long video before, and that was really hard to get uploaded and rendered. Okay, so here I actually like this curve. I mean, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't mind playing Abusive Sergeant on turn 1. I don't get the battle cry, but that's fine. It's not a huge deal. So yeah, I'm okay with this. The only option could be to mulligan out the Dragonling mechanic, considering I already have some early game, but I kind of like just having a 4-drop. It's likely that I get a 4-drop back, but I could also draw a 4-drop in the time, in the few turns leading up to the 4th turn, so again, I'm fine with keeping all these cards. Zombie Chow, that's not what you want to see. I think here I'm just gonna pass, and, suck up some face. I don't want him to trade out the Abusive Sergeant. I don't want to give him a lot of value on that. And I don't really care if he hits face here, because we're just gonna be Shadow Word Painting it. He's gonna die and give me the death rattle, so not too worried. And it's still within Shadow Word Pain range, so get rid of that. He has a slight tempo advantage here, but that's still fine. I would actually like to be able to draw like a Twilight Drake or a Stormwind, Night Ogre Maggie, Lost Tall Strider, one of those 4-drops I had. What were some other ones? I think I have a Light Spawn too. Well, we didn't get it, and I don't want to put out the Harvest Column because he can trade that out very easily with what's on the board and keep both his minions alive. I think I'm going to coin out a Gnomish Inventor. Okay. Well, next turn we've got some options. Don't want to speculate on what we're going to do yet because it's very dependent on how this turn goes for him. Okay. Getting the Tauren Warrior down seems pretty good. He'll have to trade the Golem into it. The other option is to I don't have the coin. I could put out the abuse of Sergeant. Dragonling Mechanic handles the board the best here. I'll probably just trade the Raptor and then trade the 1/1, but he has the board control, so he has the option of trading, and we just want to make sure he has the least favorable options, and that's what we did there. I think we should be able to come back in this game. It's not going super well so far, but we're still at 29 health on turn 5. Drain life, that was interesting. I wasn't expecting that. That's kind of a bad value play. Okay, what are we gonna do here? I think Tauren Warrior and River Crockless do a pretty good job here. I could play Ventrico, but he probably won't kill it. And if he does kill it, he's getting pretty favorable trades with it, and then I don't want to be stalled out next turn if it doesn't get killed. So I think this is pretty good right here. He's forced to trade his Golem into the Tauren Warrior, and he can't kill the Croc with what's on the board. So I should have something left on the board, which really helps with the Beats of Sergeant or Temple Enforcer for next turn. Next turn I might Drake into Beast of Sergeant, or I could Temple Enforcer. He silences it. That's interesting. He probably would have had a better silence target later on if he had waited. Okay, he trades that. I didn't really expect that. Okay. Interesting. Okay. We might want to use Kodo here. The problem is Abuse of Sergeant doesn't give us any benefit here. There's nothing that getting a +2 attack boost will help with. So if we play Stampeding Kodo, that'll probably just be it for this turn. So a good play might be to, if I Kodo out, I can take out the Owl. And Kodo does sort of handle the board relatively well. The other option is to Temple Enforcer, buff the health of this. He probably doesn't have a silence, and then trade it into this and work from there. I think that's a little bit better. Next turn we can probably still have the option to Kodo something, so just get the most value out of the mana here. And I'm gonna take out the Swordsman. Don't want him to keep buffing up things, especially if it's got like a Divine Shield up. I don't want that to get buffed. So to take out the Tauren Warrior, you'd have to trade both the Owl and the Golem into it, or the Silvermoon. So we're slowly gaining back board control here. Okay, he's taken a while to decide, which is understandable. There's a lot of different options. Reckless Rocketeer, okay. That's gonna be pretty much his turn 7 right there. Oh my gosh, that was not a good value play. He really doesn't like that Temple Enforcer. Well, I think the play here is Novice Engineer, and then follow that up with Kodo. I'll Novice Engineer first, because there's nothing, I'm going to be playing that this turn. There's nothing above 5 mana, and that'll leave 2 mana left over. Twilight Drake. That's not better than Kodo, so we're gonna Kodo here. If he ends up leaving the Novice Engineer on the board, I can Abusive Sergeant that and take out the Silvermoon next turn. But if he's smart, he'll take out the Engineer with the Silvermoon, or maybe Mortal Coil or something like that. If there's one thing we've learned from these past few games, it's never say never, never give up. Because we've snatched victory from the jaws of defeat a couple times here. Okay, that's a pretty good turn for him. Well, if we draw BGH, we can pretty much BGH whatever we want to. I think I'm gonna Azure Drake. Okay. And I have some spells that I could draw. Okay, Floating Watcher. Well, it looks like I'm probably going to be able to kill off the Ventrico. He didn't life tap, that's interesting. Figured he would have life tap. Maybe he's going to Flame Imp or something. No, he doesn't. Okay. Okay, kills that off. Mortal Coil. Okay, that's a pretty good turn for him. I think dropping Hazard Drake, Twilight Drake is pretty good here. I mean, it's obviously it's a 7-mana Drake, but we can't avoid, we can't kill off the Ventrico. The only way to kill it off is to buff the Ironfur Grizzly twice with our Abusive Sergeants at 4 mana apiece, and then trade it in, and at that point there's 1 mana left, and it's an interesting play, but definitely not a good one, so take that out. We'll play the Drake. And then I think we might heal face here. Obviously we don't want to get Dark Bombed, but I feel like removal in Arena comes out pretty early if the opponent has it. You know what, I'm gonna heal it. I won't take the chance. Healing 2 face here is not super ideal. I mean, we don't really need to. We're not in danger. Pit Lord, that's some interesting synergy there. Hopefully we top deck a BGH. Yeah, we're gonna need BGH in here. Or a Shadow or Death. This could get ugly. This is where not having a silence can sometimes be kind of bad. Alright, well, luckily we can take out the Floating Watcher. We've got enough mana to do that and play the Drake, so I'll play the Drake first. See what we get. If we get BGH, that's great. Not quite. So, Wolf Rider. Abusive. Abusive. Our situation is a little better now, but definitely not ideal. He did take a lot of face damage with that last turn, taking 8 to face, and then did he tap as well? Yeah, he tapped, so he took 10 damage to face last turn. Not that we can't really threaten him, but just something to keep in mind that if we put like a Force Tank Max down, he might feel like he has to deal with it and can't ignore it. I'm kind of surprised that he drafted Pit Lord. I've never really considered it. And oh wow, he just tracks us. That's not good. Wow, this is an incredibly good arena deck, it looks like. Which is to be expected in Game 5. I don't think we're going to be able to come back from this. Wow. Alright, well. Let's see. Holy Nova would have been great there. I think it's just best to play Stealth Strider in the Maggie and heal. He might even have lethal this turn if he's got like Power Overwhelming or something like that. But we just, oh wow, this is bad. We can't keep up with his hero power. Traxxas' hero power is 2 mana, summons a 6/6. So I don't think this is possible to pull this off. I mean, I can't think of anything that we can draw at this point. It's just too far gone. Let's see, does he have lethal? He's got 10. He's got 1 off lethal. You know what, let's Force Tank Max. Let's force him to has to trade it out. But even if he does, he's gonna hero power again. Playing Jiraxis against Priest is almost an auto win. Priest doesn't have any way to burst down an opponent, so being at 15 health is not a danger zone against Priest at all. So, if you're playing Priest and you get Jiraxis, you're gonna lose over 90% of the time. Interesting call, though. He did. Yeah, see, he's not worried about getting bursted at all. He just hit face. And he's got a heal pot. Well, this guy's arena deck is crazy. He is going to go places. Now, if that had dropped a Doomsayer, we'd be in business, but it didn't. Yeah. That's gonna be the end of that one. Pretty sure he has lethal here. Yeah, he's got it. So, you're witnessing the first loss. And if I have to lose, I'll take a loss to a deck like this. Best of luck to this guy. Hopefully he gets to 12 wins. I think it's very possible with that deck, with Jiraxis and healing abilities, and Mad Bomber with Floating Watcher and Flame Imp and a Pit Lord. Like, I could almost envision this as a quirky constructed deck. Very interesting setup on that one. But we're gonna unfortunately have to end this on a loss, as we are approaching 38 minutes here. Still have high hopes for this deck. Not sure. Not sure that we could have done much differently in that last game. Jiraxis against a Priest in arena is pretty deadly. Yeah. So I'll resume this arena run tomorrow. I think we'll get this video uploaded as quickly as possible after it gets rendered and all that. Should start posting some more videos, and really appreciate all the comments that